Hello, welcome. My name is Natalie, and this is Flamin' Hot Reviews, the series that's totally not just an excuse for me to eat my favorite snack foods. Today we've got a fabulous Flamin' Hot feast for you. Flamin' Hot Ruffles. Ruffles are one of my favorite chips, but will they stand up? Will they hold up with the addition of Flamin' Hotness? Let's find out. So to start things off, I just want to say that these are very high quality. The first thing that I kind of want to touch on is, of course, the texture. In case you don't know, Ruffles are potato chips that have all these nice little ridges on them, all these ruffly peaks and valleys. And these create perfect little homes for the flavor dust to kind of reside in and live in. I don't know if you can see too well, but each of these little crevasses is full of that delicious, wonderful flavor dust. Not only that, but the ridges and the ruffles, if you will, create an enormous crunch when you bite into it. It's really nice. Very, very satisfying. For me, the texture of these, straight off the bat, 5 out of 5. Now, when it comes to spiciness, for some reason, I actually find these to be a little less spicy than standard Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And I'm not 100% sure why this is. I don't know if it's a slightly different flavor dust formula or they're doing a little something different with the application. But the theory that I have actually comes down to the composition of the chip. You see, your Cheeto is made of essentially what is puffed cornmeal, and whereas these, of course, are made from potatoes. Now, as I kind of touched on in my last video, the chemical in peppers that sort of creates the heat sensation that we get when we eat spicy foods is known as capsaicin. And capsaicin has a few different things that can help deal with it. Dairy being one of them, kind of the most commonly known. But another that is very good at dealing with that is, of course, starch. And as you may or may not know, potatoes are incredibly starchy. In fact, they're pretty much all starch. It's kind of just starch and water. So I think, personally, that kind of has something to do with that. So for me, that's a bit of a downside. You know, when I eat these, I'm looking for a nice spicy snack. You know, I'm looking for something to kind of titillate my taste buds, you know, sort of send me on that sort of wondrous, spicy voyage of flavor, you know. However, overall, I actually don't think that it is 100% a knock against them. I actually think that the slightly reduced spiciness kind of makes them a bit more accessible for your newer eater. So, you know, if you're someone, you're not super used to spicy foods, this actually could be a plus for you. So, all in all, I'm going to be giving the spiciness of this a 4 out of 5. The next thing I want to touch on in the review is the flavor. And this is actually the one area where I think these are lacking compared to your standard Flamin' Hot Cheetos. See, I think it again kind of comes down to the composition of the chip. In this case, the potato versus the corn. You know, when you eat a Cheeto, you kind of get this sort of smoky corn-like flavor that I think in concert with the flavor dust is what really makes Flamin' Hot Cheetos so nice. You know, that is kind of the thing, you know, those together. It's not just the flavor dust, it's not just the Cheeto, it's them working together so perfectly that sort of pushes it over the line of deliciousness. Whereas in this case, the potato, you don't really get that, you know? It's a bit more of a neutral flavor. It's a bit more just kind of there. You know, the chip, in this case, is really more of a vessel for the flavor dust. You know, that the chip for the Ruffles is sort of, you know, the ship that is just putting the flavor dust into your mouth, whereas the Cheetos are kind of a whole package experience. You know, you don't come just for the dust. you come for the Cheetos, whereas the Ruffles, it's just all about the flavor dust. And I know that maybe that doesn't necessarily sound bad, you know? That's kind of the best part. That's the main flavor. I mean, that's what makes the whole thing. Without the flaming hot flavor dust, what are you doing, right? But I actually think that there's kind of something missing if you don't have those two things together. So I actually think the flavor is kind of the least remarkable part of these. It's good. It's not like it's bad, but for me, ultimately, the flavor is going to get a 3 out of 5. Now, I don't know about you, but I was raised to believe that if you're going to eat Ruffles, they should be dipped. Now, I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. You can eat them normally, like some kind of barbarian. But this is not how we do things here. This is a classy show for classy people. So I think it would be a great disservice to not review these without the addition of some dip. Specifically, French onion dip. Even more specifically, Dean's French onion dip. Now, this might be a bit of a hot take, but I have to say, if you are dipping your potato chips in anything other than French onion dip, what are you doing? I mean, it's clearly the best. French onion, it has no peer, and especially if you are out here eating chips and dipping them in ranch, you need to take a good hard look at your life. I don't know about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm out here making YouTube videos about snack foods, so maybe I'm not the best person to take life advice from, but I do kind of firmly stand by that. The point is, we're going to eat these chips with some dip. Now, we're going to try this with the dip. I'm telling you, with the dip, these are absolutely elevated. I mean, the addition of the cool French onion dip with that spicy flamin' hotness is just heavenly. I mean, it feels like you are eating a forbidden romance. I'm telling you, you've got to try that. You know, all that stuff I just said about not listening to me for life advice, forget that. You need to listen to me on this. You need to go get yourself some Flamin' Hot Ruffles, get yourself some Dean's French onion dip, and you need to eat them together because the way the two combine is frankly amazing. Cannot be missed. Now, for me, I gave the flavor a 3 out of 5. With the dip, I believe that these are good enough to rival even the regular standard Flamin' Hot Cheetos. So I'm going to sort of revise the score with the addition of dip. The flavor, 5 out of 5 rating. So in conclusion, I really like these chips. Whether you eat them normally or you eat them with dip, they're truly wonderful. But I gotta say, to truly get the best experience, you gotta eat them with the French onion dip. With that, they transcend all the laws of snackitude. I also recommend them if you are looking for a slightly less spicy alternative to your standard Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Now, if you liked this video and you'd like to see more like it, please drop a like, subscribe, and leave a comment about how I'm slowly losing my grip on reality. I'll probably heart it.